Hey, it's Shay. I'm a third-year grad student at DePaul University, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Like the title of the video says, this will be a reading vlog. I have a lit review due at the end of this month, so I'll be working on the bulk of my reading this week. I really want to get all of my reading out the way now, because once it's time to write, it's time to write. This lit review is for the conference paper that I'm working on for this fellowship. Because this is a paid fellowship, they have to know like what we're doing, how we're making progress. So last month I had a prospectus and a bibliography due, and at the end of this month is the lit review and an outline of our conference paper. So that's what I'm focused on getting done. I'm about to create a list of everything that I want to read. I will mainly be focusing on the things that I haven't read yet. There may be one or two things that I want to revisit that I've read in the past. That's what I'm about to do right now. I'll check back in when I start reading. I have my list now. There are 3 things that I think are top priority. I'm gonna start with Discourse on Colonialism. It's a very thin, short book, so I could probably finish this today. That's gonna be my focus. It's frustrating because there's a lot of things here. So one is knowing that like I have to be very focused, and that the most immediate thing right now is my conference paper. Like, it's a 10 to 12 page paper. It's going to be very short. I don't need to read so much, but part of me is also thinking that like, because I know that this conference paper, it links so closely with my thesis project, I'm like, okay, I need to know more. Like, I want to read more. I want to find out more. Like, sometimes I can't be content with what I have right now. So I'm trying to unlearn that, or just like tell myself, no, you don't, which is why I'm giving myself this list and sticking to this list of the things that I need to read, because I will find more things to read. I will gladly find more things to read. I'm trying to focus on that, and then also knowing that my thesis does not need to be approached as a written thesis, because I'm writing a framing paper, but my actual thesis will be it'll be a video essay, or how I'm approaching it will be similar to how I approach writing an essay, but just in a less academic, more informal way. So of course I still need to read, like I still need to do research, I still need background information, but it's not gonna look as if I'm writing something out. The final product will be a lot different than your typical master's thesis. So I'm trying to keep that in mind, but again, I just like to read. So I'm trying to like stop myself and be like, girl, you can't read everything. You cannot read everything. So I'm giving myself this set list. That's it. Everything after that, whatever. I got to Discourse on Colonialism, or just wanting to learn more about colonialism, from this book I read last year called Decolonization and Afrofeminism by Sylvia Tamale. And she talks about this idea of colonization versus coloniality, and the difference between like a country, and in the case of Africa, or like modern colonialism is European countries taking over the political and economic landscape of a country, or like a nation, versus coloniality, which is the psychological thing. So of course I haven't read this yet, but I know Frantz Fanon talks about it in The Wretched of the Earth, which is on my list of things that I'm gonna read. And then of course Discourse on Colonialism. So I'm trying to like get the big things about colonialism, or like the major players in that, specifically Black folk, because my research is about the Black diaspora, or the African diaspora. So I'm trying to understand that a little bit more, and not just, like, yeah. And again, my problem is that I want to learn more. Like, once I learn more things, I'm like, okay, there's so much more that I don't know, so let's find it. But sometimes it's just okay to be like, this is what I know and this is what is informing why I come to this decision. This is how it's shaping my project, and how I'm approaching this thing. So I'm starting with discourse on colonialism, and then I will read a little bit of Fanon, and those will probably be the two things that I read today, because Big Brother comes on at 7, so I need to be tuned in for that. But yes, I'm gonna start reading now, and we'll check back in later. The Pomodoro method when I'm reading, because it like makes me realize that I don't have to just read. I can take a break in between. So the first 25 minutes just went off. I'm done with this. I skimmed most of it, honestly, because it was partly I didn't really understand. It's not like I didn't understand, it was just about a very specific thing. Like, he talks very specifically about different instances in colonized nations and colonized people. So that's not entirely like what I'm looking for. I'm more so just looking on the nature of colonization, which he touches on in like the first, they're not chapters, but like the first few sections. So I got that. I skimmed through the rest just to make sure there wasn't anything else that I was missing that I thought was important. So yeah, I just did that. I need to go get my laundry from the laundry room, and then I'll come back, I'll write my notes on it. One thing that I like to do when I am reading is write out my thoughts about the reading as soon as I read it, or maybe a day after I read, because I will forget my thoughts on it. I will forget what I like, the opinions that I formed while I was reading it. So I like to do that as soon as possible. But once I get my laundry, I'll come back up, I'll type out my notes, then I'll move on to Fanon, and that will probably be it for the night, because I realize I have not eaten a meal today. So I think after I read, I'll probably order something to eat, because I don't feel like cooking, and it's a Sunday night. Change of plans. I'm going to get ice cream with our mom instead of reading, because I started reading today, so I'm gonna treat myself. I wrote out my notes and thoughts about this. I was connecting it to some other things that I've read, kind of writing about why some of the things, like the arguments that he's making, using those arguments as to why I am doing my research and why my research is important. I'm done for the day. I'm logging off. I'm shutting down. I feel good about what I've done. It is Monday evening. I haven't read anything today, so I'm about to start reading now. I'll probably read for about an hour or so. I had a check-in meeting earlier with the grad fellows, and because we have our lit review coming up that's due, we talked a little more about that, also just the progress that we're making on our projects, and I got some good feedback that I think I'm gonna take. One of the faculty directors, after reading my prospectus, was like, yeah, there was one part in your prospectus that was missing from that I included once I submitted my application. And I was like, yeah, like it was a specific thing. I wanted to talk initially specifically about Black Panther, and like a lot of the conversations around that and how I'm relating it to my project. But when I was trying to look for different tweets or just like conversations about it, because one, the first movie came out, like 5 years ago now, and then The second movie is more recent, so that was a little bit easier to find, but even then, because it's so long and the way that like Twitter works now, it just felt harder to find some information. But she and like a few other people gave me really good tips on how to go about finding what I'm looking for. I will include that now again in my project, which I'm actually glad I had that conversation, because part of me was like, I need to find a very specific example and find it quickly, because if not, like the content part of this paper will be lacking. I do have this book that I'm gonna look through today and see if there's any chapters that I want to include in my lit review and that I want to read, and have that guide that part of the conversation. I'm gonna do that now. I think I might, I don't know, I was thinking about reading Fanon today, but the way that my brain is set up, I don't know if I can. And I don't even know if it's, now that I have, or I feel like I'm more focused or narrow in this project, I don't know how useful Fanon will be, like, or how important it will be. I think it's still useful, just not right now. So I might lower that on my list of things to read and look through. It's this book, Why Wakanda Matters. So I will figure out what I want to read in that, and maybe that can be my what I read today, because I'm very like it's been a very long day. Like, it's been a good day. I got a lot done, but you know when you get a lot done and you're just like, at the end of the day, you don't want to do anything, but there's still more to do. That's what I will focus on today, and yeah. Tonight, I read 2 chapters of Why Wakanda Matters, put my notes in Notion, and wrote just my thoughts about what I was reading. It helped a lot reading this, and I think it's gonna help pull my project together a little bit more. So I'm glad I got the suggestion to still focus on Black Panther and a lot of like the ideas that come out of that movie. I feel good about that. It's a little after 9, so I'm about to head to bed. I don't know if I'm gonna read tomorrow. I know once I get home from work, it's hard to get me to do anything. I might work on citations, because that's a lot easier to do than, like, you know, it's more passive. So that might be what I work on, just to get something done. But yeah, I'm going to bed. Hi friends, I am checking in from my couch today. It's Tuesday, just got home. Well, I got home from work a little bit ago, but I just finished eating dinner. I know I said yesterday that I'd probably work on citations, but I think I'm gonna look for a few more articles online about Black Panther. I am mentally exhausted. Like, it wasn't a bad day, it was just when it's been a long day, and then I am going in the office again tomorrow, and I know that tomorrow will be a long day. So it's like partially the day that I had plus anticipating the day that I'm gonna have tomorrow. So I'm just very exhausted. So I will keep tonight very low energy. I have on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just have a very busy week. I am keeping it very light today, and something's gonna get done. Like, I almost thought about reading, but I just know I'm gonna stay in the low energy state that I'm in, because if I do force myself to read, I'll get into it, and then my brain will be racing and I won't be able to sleep tonight, and I need to sleep because I have to get up early tomorrow morning. I'm gonna keep it real cute. I will be disciplined and just stick to finding some articles. Tomorrow I probably won't do anything. I'm probably gonna get home and sleep. I don't know, this week I thought I would be so on top of everything, and I had like everything planned out. And it's not even that I'm behind. Like, I don't feel behind. It's just so much from other parts of my life have just taken over this week that I'm like, I can't focus on the things that I really wanted to for my school life. This is the life that I'm choosing to live. I don't have to be here. I really don't want to. I'll check in probably, maybe not tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I'll check in again about where I'm at in this whole reading process.
3 days later.
It's Saturday. This week has flew by, unfortunately, and I did not read everything that I wanted to, but that's okay because other things got done. I think the last time we talked was Tuesday after work. I did find a few articles. I went into the office Wednesday, got home, was not in the mood to do anything. Thursday came. I don't know what I did Thursday. I think it was more the same. I definitely watched Big Brother. Friday came, watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then it's Sunday. No, see, this is why I don't know what's going on. It's Saturday. And then earlier today I had a sorority event. Then I just got home. Me and my mom went to the mall. We went to Kohl's, and I just left Barnes & Noble. I'm checking in because I am about to read, but I'm gonna force myself to finish Kindred by Octavia Butler. I have been reading that probably for the last like 2 months. And I think the problem was that I started it during the summer, and it's not a summer read. Like, this is not a summer read at all. I'm just gonna read for fun, even though finishing this book doesn't feel like fun. I can't even lie, but it's something's being read, and it's about Black people, so that counts, right? Like, yeah. Also, Friday we had a writing group, so I wrote a few things. So things are happening. I just haven't been reading. I still have a few things that I actually do want to read before I start writing this lit review, right? I think there are a few other things. I don't know. I feel like I work tomorrow, and then Monday we have a work event after work. So I probably won't come back to this until next Tuesday, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. So next Tuesday, y'all will probably hear from me. We'll check back in then. Hi friends, it is Tuesday. I am currently on my lunch break. From the last time we talked, I have not read anything for this lit review. I had a very busy weekend. Yesterday, I just needed to rest, and I did that, and I'm glad that I did that. I'm just like remembering at the beginning of the video when I mentioned how, like, I really need to just get my reading done. So once I need to work on this lit review and write, I'll have all my reading done. And I'm kind of feeling that because it's due, I think, next Wednesday. Luckily, it doesn't have to be long. Like, the conference paper is 10 to 12 pages, so the lit review can be like 2-3 pages. I'm very grateful in that it doesn't have to be long. I also already started the lit review, so I just need to build on what I already have. What I do need to do is figure out what I'm reading later, so once I'm done with work, I can start my schoolwork. Today will be my last reading day. I just want it to be over. I'm gonna figure out what I want to read, what I need to read before I really start writing. If I don't close out this video tonight, which is very likely to happen, here's me saying thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you soon. What does it mean? What does it mean?